Hey Finxters, Shubham here. Today we will be discussing about the Python double asterisk operator. We have an entire article about this on our website and you can follow that article from the link given in the description below. Now let us dive into our discussion right away. So, while using a function in your program, you might be uncertain about the number of named arguments that have to be passed into the function. The purpose of this video is to guide and help you to deal with such situations. So now let us discuss the uses of double asterisk operator. Now there are numerous uses of the double asterisk operator. 3 of them can be seen on the screen. The first use case is the exponentiation operator. Then it can also be used to accept arbitrary keyword arguments and also can be used for dictionary unpacking. So without further delay, let us jump into the use cases one by one. Let us open our programming screen, and the first use case was the exponentiation operator. So consider you have couple of numeric data types a and b. Now you want to find the result of a raised to the power b. So that would mean 4 raised to the power 2. So the output should be 16. So let us check how we can do that with the help of the double asterisk operator. Now that's pretty much it. Let's run the program. And as you can see, we have the desired output. Now let us discuss the second use case, which is probably the most important use case of the double asterisk operator. We can use it to accept arbitrary keyword arguments in our program. Now what do I mean by keyword arguments? So before jumping into an example, let us discuss about the types of arguments that can be passed to a function. These include positional arguments and keyword arguments. So, the arguments that can be called by their position in the function definition are known as positional arguments. When the function is called, the first positional argument must be provided first. The second positional argument should be provided second, and so on. Whereas, in case of keyword arguments, these are those arguments that can be called using their name. They are generally followed by an equal sign and an expression to provide it a default value. Now let us have a look at an example to understand what are keyword arguments and positional arguments. So let us get back to our programming screen. Let us clear out the programming screen as well as the output screen. Now let us define a function foo, which accepts variables a, b and has a default variable c which holds the value 1. Now we return the values of a into b plus c. Now let's have a look at the different arguments that we can pass. So print in the name of the function and 1, 2. This means a will now receive the value 1 while b will receive the value 2 and c will have its default value 1. So in this case we have couple of positional arguments and a default argument. So let's check the output. So as you can see, it's 3. Now let's move on to another example. Print the function name, and now we will pass a positional argument and then we will pass a keyword argument. So as you can see, we are passing the value 2 to the variable b. So we are using a name. So it is also called a named argument. We are using the name to pass the value. And let's pass a different value to 3 now. Now as you can see, c holds the value 1 in the function definition. However, we can pass a different value to c as well. In this case, now c becomes a keyword argument. So this would give us 2 into 1 plus 3, that would mean 5. Let's check the result. And we get 5. So I hope you get the idea about keyword and positional arguments. Now let us move on to our discussion with the arbitrary keyword arguments that can be accepted using the double asterisk operator. Before proceeding further, let us clear our screen. Okay, so if you are uncertain about how many keyword arguments that have to be passed to a function in the program, then you can use an argument with the double asterisk as a prefix to the argument, which allows us to pass an arbitrary number of keyword arguments into our function. This allows the function to receive a dictionary of arguments, and it can then access the items accordingly. So what do I mean by that? The best way to understand that is through an example. So let us define a function foo, which has the double asterisk operator and the variable kwargs, rather the argument kwargs. We will be talking about kwargs in a while. Now let's print learn freelancing with, then let's define a format string using, and again a format string. Now let's define the format string, format, and kwargs. Kwargs will accept a dictionary of values, that is values in the form of key value pairs. Now we need to define or pass the values to the function. So we have the function, and now we have a variable or a parameter org, which holds the value Finxter, and another parameter tech, which holds the value Python. Now we pass these values to our argument kwargs. Now we need to access these values with the help of their keys. So org in the first case and tech in the second case. Now that should do it for us. Let's check the output. Okay, we have an error. Now I know what I did here. I forgot to put the proper parenthesis. So this should work, and there we go. However, we again have an error. Learning freelancing with org using Python. So as you can see, the value of the org key, that is Finxter, is not accepted in this case. So where did we go wrong? We forgot to mention the keyword kwargs. My bad, folks. And there we go. Learn freelancing with Finxter using Python. So as you can see that we can pass couple of key value pairs through the kwargs argument that has double asterisk as a prefix, and then we can access the items accordingly. So that's how powerful the double asterisk operator is. Now I want to mention the difference between the single asterisk operator and the double asterisk operator. Rather, the difference between args and kwargs with the single and double asterisks as their prefix. In function definitions, a single asterisk takes an iterator like a list or tuple and expands it into a sequence of arguments, whereas double asterisk takes a dictionary and expands it. So I hope you get the point. A single asterisk is used to allow arbitrary number of non-keyword arguments, while double asterisk will allow you to accept an arbitrary number of keyword arguments. So that's an important point that you must remember. Now there's something that you must follow. Just like non-default arguments, which should always be placed before default arguments, similarly, the double asterisk operator with the kwargs keyword or any other value for that sake, or variable for that sake, should always be placed after the single asterisk operator with the args, otherwise you will have an error. So what's the correct order of arguments? You should first have standard arguments, then the argument with the single asterisk operator, and finally the argument with the double asterisk operator. Now again, the best way to understand this is through an example. So let's clear the screen completely. Okay, now let's define a function foo which accepts a couple of positional arguments a and b. It then has the args argument and then the kwargs argument with the double asterisk operator. Now we simply print out the values of a plus b, then we print the value of the args argument, and we finally print the value of the kwargs argument. Now we need to pass some values to these arguments, so I'll be defining a dictionary which has a key name with the value Finxter, another key tech with the value Python. I'll also define a list which has the values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now I'll pass the values 1 and 2 into the positional arguments a and b, then pass the list into our args keyword or the args argument that has a single asterisk as a prefix, and then we pass the dictionary into our kwargs argument which has double asterisk as a prefix. Now let's try and run this code, and as you can see, in the first case the output is a plus b, that is 1 plus 2, which is 3, which is correct. In the second case we have something which we didn't want, and that's because we didn't pass it with the proper syntax or the asterisk operator. And there we go. So in the second case we have args which holds a list containing values 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and finally the dictionary which holds key value pairs. Now let's try and alter the arrangement of these arguments and let's check if that works. And as you can see, we have an invalid syntax error. So that's what I was trying to explain. You have to arrange the arguments in proper order. So let me correct that. And there we go. We have our output again. Now that brings us to a very important discussion. Let's get back to our slides. The third use case of the double asterisk operator is dictionary unpacking. So what does unpacking mean? It is a feature in Python which allows us to assign or pack all values or arguments of a given sequence into a single variable. Now let us have a look at how we can use dictionary unpacking with the double asterisk operator. Let's clear out everything on the screen as of now. Now let's define a function result which has the kwargs argument. Now we have a loop for key in kwargs. We are iterating through the items in kwargs that we will pass in a while. and then we have a condition. If kwargs is greater than 90, we print Now let's define a dictionary by the name marks, which has the following key value pairs. We have Ben, we have Emma, and finally we have Ron. Ben gets 96, Emma gets 98, and Ron gets 89. Now we call our function result and we pass the dictionary into the kwargs argument. So we have a function result which accepts the dictionary marks, and then inside the function we have a loop which iterates through the keys in the dictionary marks. Now inside the loop we check if a particular key has a value which is greater than 90. In that case we print the key along with the value. So that means Ben has 96 and Emma has 98, whereas Ron is below 90. So Emma and Ben should be printed on the screen. Yet again an error with the parenthesis. Now let's check the output, and there we go. We have the desired output. Now this brings us to a very interesting discussion. Merging dictionaries using the dictionary unpacking feature. The dictionary unpacking feature creates a dictionary and unpacks all the key value pairs into the new dictionary. Duplicate keys are automatically resolved by this method. So without further delay, let us have a look at the following program. Let us define a dictionary D1 which has value 1 as a key and the value is 10, while we have value 2 as the second key and the value is 20. We again have another dictionary by the name D2 for which we have the keys value 3 that holds the value 30, and we have value 4 as the second key which holds the value 40. Now we want to merge these dictionaries. So what we can do is simply use D1 and double asterisk D2. That's it. We are done. And now we simply print Z. Let's check if that works. And there we go. We have merged the dictionaries in a single line. So isn't that a cool feature? I guess yes. Now that was enough for this video. I hope you liked and enjoyed it. Please give it a like and subscribe our channel for more such videos. See you soon. Goodbye.